So 49ers fans are up in arms about George Kittle getting snubbed for first-team All-Pro, and they're right to be up in arms, but I'm more focused about the 49ers potentially pairing George Kittle with Tyler Warren, that monster. And I'm not going to even call him a tight end. I'm going to call him an offensive weapon out of Penn State. Shout out to Tracy, by the way. I'm in Tracy, California, on the way down to Shaver Lake, 209, San Joaquin County. Yes, that is In-N-Out Burger right behind me. Just ran into a nice 49ers fan named Josh. Pointed out to me that Keena Turner and Ronnie Lott used to own a car dealership here, and I believe Charles Haley was one of their investors. So this is the California tour, down through the Central Valley to Shaver Lake. I'm going to stop in Fresno a little bit later today. Maybe we do a live from Fresno. But anyway, Brock Bowers gets that All-Pro status, first-team All-Pro status over George Kittle, who was a second-team All-Pro. And that's fine, but you got to remember that All-Pro is something that's voted on by the AP, and voters tend to make mistakes, just like officials made a mistake in the 49ers-Cardinals game and ejected Jawan Jennings. But they focus too much on raw stats. And when you look at Brock Bowers, he had 112 catches. I get it. But George Kittle was far more efficient as a wide receiver, and he's a way better blocker, and he's in there blocking a lot for the 49ers. But Kittle led all tight ends in yards per route run. In fact, if you would compare Kittle to wide receivers, he was number 4 amongst all wideouts and tight ends in yards per route run. And that's going to be a much better way of determining who the better receiver is. You're going to see how efficient he is within the context of the offense. He also had more touchdown catches than Brock Bowers, which makes him more efficient. But guys like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase had lower numbers in yards per route run than George Kittle, who's a future Hall of Famer, who's more polished than Brock Bowers, who definitely deserved to be first-team All-Pro. But I'm not going to belabor that. I'm just going to give you guys the numbers and the stats that actually matter. And I'm just going to verify that you should be a little bit upset about the snub for George Kittle, but we can focus on the future more as well. And if the 49ers can grab Tyler Warren out of Penn State, my goodness, this guy's a monster. 6'6". He's listed at 261. Watching him play against Notre Dame yesterday, Tyler Warren moves like he's 240, 245. And they line him up everywhere. I first noticed this guy as an outside wide receiver. So he's playing a wide out role, then they move him into inline tight end role. Then he's some kind of H-back in the backfield. Then he's a slot. I think he could block at 261. He wears the number 44, which is funny because that's what Kyle Juszczyk wears, and Juszczyk is a second-team All-Pro. The first-teamer is from Baltimore, Patrick Ricard, this year. But boy, Tyler Warren should go in the middle first round, and we'll see if the 49ers are able to pounce on him. There's going to be debates about who they should take in the first round, an offensive line, this and that. I'll tell you what, though, and I'm not arguing one position over the other here. I will say that somebody of Tyler Warren's caliber will help your pass protection, not just because he's going to block sometimes, but because giving a second outlet on top of what George Kittle is doing, plus just giving a versatile weapon outlet, is going to improve the separation stats for the 49ers, improve the quality of throw time from Brock Purdy. It's going to improve the run game. I mean, versatile weapons are what make this offense tick, and it's been that way ever since George Kittle emerged as a monster in 2017. The 49ers were able to get him, though, in the 5th round. That's because he was under the radar for a number of reasons. Tyler Warren's not going to be under the radar, so it's going to be a little bit harder to grab that. You know, while we're talking about value, though, George Kittle is somebody who, even past his first contract or into his first contract, has given the 49ers so much value. I talk about him being the number 4 most efficient receiver in the NFL this year, yards per route run, and that includes wideouts. Well, he's only making $15 million a year, so the tight end pay scale has made it such that Kittle has been massively efficient for the 49ers even past his rookie deal. He's got one more year on his contract, and I think that the 49ers absolutely will re-sign him, and I think they're going to do it this season. I don't think that I'm crazy for saying that they're going to do it this season. In fact, that's become mainstream thought at this point. It almost seems like Kittle is just now entering his prime. It seems that George Kittle is healthier than he's ever been at the end of a long, arduous season, at least since since his youthful years, since 2017 and 2018. And that means that he is ready to continue delivering at a high level, even on the wrong side of 30. Makes absolute sense for the 49ers to extend him because you're getting top wide receiver production at a tight end rate. And the one thing that the 49ers offense has been missing, even when this was the number one unit in all of football in 2023, is that tight end two. So the tight end two's got to have it for the 49ers. What's up? You a Niners fan? Yes, she was a Niners fan. So Tracy, firmly 49ers territory. You know, I grew up in Visalia, 559 area code now. It was the 209. Then they subdivided the 209 into the new 559 and the original 209. And so now we're in the 209. Shout out, not far from the Bay Area. And the 49ers used to hold training camp in Stockton, which is very close to Tracy, speaking of San Joaquin County. It was Rockland for the 49ers, which is in the Sacramento area. Then they moved down to Stockton, and then obviously they brought it closer to home in Santa Clara. Anyway, that tight end position, you're talking about money ball football, you're talking about cost efficiency. That's one spot where you could really generate it. Both, I think, through the draft, because I think it's undervalued even there at some point, but and maybe that's changing here over time as some of these tight ends really start to take over, and we see the run-pass balance be so important in football as the Shanahan offense matriculates throughout the league. But once it comes to second and third contract time, you get a big benefit out of that tight end position as well. Speaking of In-N-Out Burger, I know I do a lot of these shows at good sandwich spots in San Francisco and around the country. We're working on something really cool on the sandwich front, but In-N-Out's got a special place in my heart. I've once eaten a 4x4, two 4x4s in one sitting and two fries, and I was okay after. I don't think I could do that anymore. But this is where you always stop on road trips in California. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. The order is now much lighter than two 4x4s with bread in one sitting. The order is now a double-double, protein style with onions and a vanilla shake, and then you'll bring 2 extra packets of spread to the table, and everybody is happy indeed. What's your order at In-N-Out Burger? I think I need to know everybody's. Put it down into the comments section as we sign off here from beautiful Tracy, California, right off of Interstate 205, heading up to Shaver Lake. We'll check in with you guys either from there or from Fresno on the way.